And I'm so glad to see all of you today. I have a plethora of ideas for all of you for your businesses. I got a ton of ideas for this weekend. So I'm very excited to see all of you today. Within this, I also think this morning, mm, I think that no, you guys are in a different day. I was like, on February 20th, which is next Monday, sorry, we are going to have I'm going to get your feedback on the program. And also, if you feel like you've had some like big wins and want to share, feel free to put a testimonial in. Teresia was a testimonial of this week. I'm sure you guys saw her, and she did give me one of my favorite quotes about my coaching, which was that she calls me out on my bullshit. And I'm like, yeah, with a smile. Bullshit with a smile. And I was like, that is literally like, yes. So feel free. You don't have to use curse words. You can just like share about coaching. So fun. And in the meantime, we're going to be talking about your annual plan. And I actually went through and did my favorite part of this weekend, and I need to go back and I'm doing projections after we meet today for me continuing to go forward, and also the first part I'm about to teach you right after our call today. So, very fun stuff. I want to talk to you guys real quick about what it means to have a well-rounded year. I found that a lot of times we don't consider like our personal life when we're planning our business. I actually, all my posts this week are about like, hey, you should like plan your personal life around your business. I think it would be really lovely for you to have a life and the business you want. So, we're going to talk about how to plan your full year that way. So, like last week, as we talked about the larger 5-year plan, how we can actually break it down into this week. Then we're going to talk about annual goals. We're going to think about, okay, what of those lovely goals that you guys put down last week, how you can break it down for your business. Then we're going to talk about a monthly breakdown. I'm going to show you how I put each month on my calendar, and even you can break it down even each week to the monthly plan. So that's what we're talking about today. Now, we already kind of discussed Monday hour one. We went through how to calendar, how to habit stack. Like if you want to like post it right after you work out in the morning, that would be an example of the things that we would love to have on your calendar. The next thing that we want to do though is we want to think a little bit big picture. We want to think about how are we creating a holistic approach to serve all aspects of your life. And what I like to do is whenever I have a busy season in my personal life, I really like to schedule that on the opposite side of my work. There's going to be an exception that I'm going to share with you today, but usually vacations and um work opposite. So that's my 2 cents there. Are there oh, sorry. So, the first thing that we want to do is we want to go through and we want to think about okay, for your personal life, the micro at the top is the stuff that you could have on Monday hour one, anything for your mental health, time with your life partner, planning time, maybe learning a hobby, learning an instrument, and things like that. And the macro goals are the ones we're going to talk about today. So for it could be like restructuring your program to fit your pillars. You could talk with hires. Like that's a big thing that I'm doing this year. And of course, I'm going to teach you guys how to do later when I actually figure it out. Um, Other things like for discovery, I like to put like trips and stuff. I either put like discovery is like I kind of like alternate with relationships. It's usually like planned kind of like outside of the two. Personal would be like renovations, and recurring processes would be like forecasting, financial evaluations, tracking your money. So, what does that look like for you? We don't want to let life pass you by, of course. Motivational quote, sunset. Sorry, I keep move every time I move you guys. Oh shit, sorry. Anise. Um, keep everybody small. Um, so every time that I am making my annual plan, this is like the first stop. So when you have your annual goal, what happens is you've got your personal goals, Then you have these are your quarters, relationships, quarters, recurring processes, quarters, career advancement and results, quarters, and discovering. For I don't really have big personal goals or big relationship goals or anything discovery this year. I again have a feeling there might be something coming hopefully in the future with my lovely gentleman where maybe I will be planning a wedding to the personal. So very exciting. Of course, you guys will be like the first to know because I will be sharing about it obnoxiously everywhere. And then I know, right? I'm very excited. Yeah, lots of things on the horizon. Relationships, that's where I usually put my trips and things like that. And then discovery, I put in like for me, that's gonna be planning potentially moving to Germany. We are going to get an extra bedroom. So if you decide to come to Frankfurt, feel free to come visit. And that is we have to figure out how to like budget to be an expat for the year, which is a term I just learned and I feel very cool. It means expatriate, but it's literally just for a year, which is fun. So that's what I do for the personal. I actually like would write down like, okay, maybe bachelorette, bridal shower, like any big events that you have and things like that. For relationships, this is where I do trips. So you'll see on the next slide, I list all of the trips that I have planned, but I also like if you know that like maybe you have a child and they've got spring break, that could go here. If they are in camps or something like that, that could be something you could add. You can also put like networking events and things like that for sure. Big networking events. I mean, like actual like events where you have to go somewhere. Like I just went to this weekend. That would be in here, like retreats and stuff, not like day to day networking events. Discovery would be like the budgeting. It's like, okay, we're gonna need to figure out how to budget. What is our current budget? What do we need our budget to be? That kind of stuff. This could also be like either personal or discovery. It doesn't matter. I a lot of times switch the two each year, but you could also talk about in the discovery category if you want to do like a house renovation or something, or if you want to like do something like that, that can be something you put on this annual goal planning with the quarterly breakdown. That's what I call this, the quarterly breakdown. With the reoccurring processes and the career advancement and results, what I like to do here is I actually like to break down my finances and number of clients. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Go back. So right here, this is where I would put like, okay, if I were to have like X number of clients, you can do something similar to projections and you could be like, okay, so if I had like this number of clients, this is what I would do. And this is how I would structure things. And then once you've got the total here, you can be like, okay, by June, by not June, LOL, by the end of March, I would have like this is how much money I'm like thinking I will have. Medium, like you can put different numbers to rank them. I realize that like I totally like kind of planned this, but it really gets you a time to it's a good time to dream. And I'll show you what that looks like when I'm misplanned. And I'll show you how I'm replanning it next week if somebody reminds me. Are there any questions about this? I'm gonna show you guys for a second. Teresia, why does this look
Could you
so
could you just repeat what the discovery of miscellaneous process is?
Yes. So
The
discovery
definition of it.
is, yeah, let me pull it back. So discovery is like, what kind of experiences do you want to have this year? Oh shit.
Okay.
Like if you we're gonna probably need to learn German. That's gonna be something I should have probably put on my annual plan and I did not. So that's gonna be something. For personal, like this could be like running a marathon. So it's very similar, these two. You can switch the two, you can get rid of if you want to like delete a row because it feels confusing, you can feel free to do that. Yeah, that's a good question. Anything else? All right. Okay, I'm gonna hide you guys in. So with the monthly breakdown, this is my favorite page on the whole thing. And here's why. I really like to see when I'm doing certain things, and I like to plan out my whole program like this. So what I'll do is in the results category, I will talk about, and miscellaneous is another one for discovery. You can make it like miscellaneous / discovery. But in my personal life, I really don't have much. I'm kind of saving that for a little bit. Hopefully something will be happening soon. Then we have relationships. And then that's where I'm putting all my trips. And I just went through on the plane ride back from California and I put all my relationship stuff in, which was great. And then for reoccurring processes, this is actually where I decided to list my webinars for the month. So I put every webinar, like I just put webinar down. And if you guys get to the point where you are actually like launching something that is like a different topic or things like that, that's where you can put the monthly, or you can put like launches in here. And then I actually went in and put the dates of my launch for my results. So that's what I put in here. You'll see that in a second. I'm going to show you. However, for you, you can put in like how many clients you would like to have here, how much money you would like to make by here. And then over here, I have things like contact my accountant, talk with them, do that kind of thing in February. So that way by April, my taxes are already paid. Tammy said, I don't see a monthly in the template. Yeah. So funky. Oh, but Sharon said second and third page. Yeah. So this is all in one document. We'll make a copy of that. I know. Also, Missy, no worries. It's good to see you. I was like, I totally get that. Does anyone have any questions about the monthly breakdown just yet? Or are we feeling good? Cool. Okay. I'm like gonna hide you, bring you back. And then this is when no worries. It was like scrolling. We got this. Um, so then last but not least, I have even like a weekly breakdown for the times when things feel really insane. I don't use this very much, but if you wanted to break down, let's say you're doing a webinar as a part of your recurring process. For the first week, you could go to the webinar protocol that we talked about a couple weeks ago. You'd be like, reach out to all clients and like a month before, like put that there. 2, make the slides. Week 2 of the month. Week 3 of the month, start marketing for webinar. And week 4, do the webinar and sell it. Something like that. So that's the way this looks. I don't typically use this unless there's like somebody has like a really big scheduling issue, which you might have. So that's why I still include it in here. And then I said, you are a light in the world. So I'm going to show you before we go to make yours. Actually, let's make yours. Everybody go into the annual planning system. I'm going to put this link in the chat. It's module 11. Go ahead and go to the annual plan template. And here's where it's, oh, wait, no, don't touch it. Just kidding. I fucked it up. Okay, everybody leave that document. Leave it. And here, I'll just make a copy just in case somebody made it. All right. Okay. Whoops. I'm going to share the editable version. My bad, friends. Fitzgerald was also disgruntled about it. He was like, why did you do that, Mom? And I was like, sorry, friend. Annual plan template. Okay. So for this one, now it should actually copy the document and be less annoying. So if anybody like made an edit on the last one, I want you to leave that document. Now go back in. Oh my God. Hold on. Just kidding. The struggle is so real, guys. Hold, please. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask while I'm getting this together. There we go. I just couldn't have it as all caps. Good to know. Okay. Now, everybody, I'm going to put it in the chat again. Go to the module. that I'm messaging you. So sorry, friends. You'll get a page that says make a copy. Now click make a copy. Take out the word copy of and go ahead to your 6-figure systems folder. Make another folder named 11 annual plan. And you've got it here. Once you got it, come on back. And I'm going to show you my annual plan that I was working on yesterday. So I haven't finished my trips. I was like engagement, wedding trips, things like that. I haven't finished this. If you go into the module itself, it's true. Oh my goodness, Fitzgerald. Again, sorry. If you do this plan your year workshop, that's where you can see the way I did the monthly breakdown. So you can see here the way I talked about each month and how I went through and I did like each number for like for your goals, I'm pretty sure. If you want to see my annual plan for this year, it looks like this. So I color coded it and it says launch 1, launch 2, big nurture month, non-launch, pre-launch. And that's why the colors are the way they are. If you want to color code yours in a different way, you totally can. But you see in my results, I've got like the launch, apply and onboard VAs. And on the board VAs, coach in 2K, I did yesterday. And I'm listing the names of my webinars. So the only other webinar I know is like I'm going to do a Love Your Offer webinar in April. I might start doing PR with my social media person, Tess. I'm also need a new shower door that needs to get put in. I put my ADHD appointments here. And I just have like retreat webinars here. The thing I mentioned before about trips is typically I would never plan a business trip on the same week of a launch. However, there's this, you guys might be familiar with Corinne Crabtree. She does this group called No BS. And I was like, that's probably going to be some pretty good positioning. Probably can help a couple people there. So I am going to this like trip that she has in May. And it's like designed specifically to like literally like after the trip. I launch the next Monday, so or the next Tuesday. So that's what this is. Are there any questions? I can't see your hands. Okay. Does anyone have any questions or are we feeling good? Cool. All right. And it was a lot. Um, the other thing I wanted to mention to you guys is I was talking this weekend a lot about different ways to bring in more leads and things like that. And one of the things that another coach brought up to me is a really great idea is getting to know people that are business adjacent. So having some people that are like related to your business, but not actually your business. So for me, photographers, graphic designers, website creators, things like that. And I'm going to go through and get to know them. Be like, hey, I think we serve the same audience. If you do this, like, let's talk. And the way I used to do that is I would do a collaborative Instagram live. Did I talk to you guys about that last week? I think probably, but I will put that here. I have this lovely little collaboration folder. I did a bunch of collaborations when I was first starting out, and it looked like this. And it would be like, why should you create systems? So you can do stuff like that with people that are like business adjacent to you. You could do them with each other for if you wanted to. Um, and now I'm kind of at a stage where I don't necessarily want this on my feed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to, I'm just going to be like, hey, could I be a referral partner for you? Which means that if I find somebody who needs like Facebook ads or something that maybe we would have a potential client overlap, I will ask them and be like, hey, nice to meet you. Let me know if you want to be referral partners. So that was just a really big idea I had. Referral partners. But another thing is like that collaboration element, being able to actually like collaborate with people, having other people like sharing audiences and things like that for things that like you guys could probably use a graphic designer, even though, and I just don't want to teach graphic design. Like it's not in my wheelhouse. Would rather not. So, yes, these are my ideas. And that's it. I'm very excited to coach you all today. I, oh, yes. Oh, also, in all of your, if you go to your progress tracking, in your progress, you are going to see now, just pulling this up because I don't want to use any of yours as an example. You should see, no, no, not this one. Sorry, friends. You should see something that looks like this at the bottom. So underneath here, you'll see a chart, and I put it in for all of you guys. So if you go to the classwork and you click into your spreadsheet, again, I'm not going to show you what Missy's is, but like you can see that for each of you. So you can actually see your progress. And that's what I copy and paste into your thing every week. All right. I know that Anise, I saw that you wanted some coaching in the stream on pillars and clarity. Amazing. So let's chat. Anise, we're gonna start with you. Give me a win, and then Sharon, I'm gonna come to you.
Uh, yes. My win is I'm a lot calmer this week.
You're a lot calmer this week. I love it.
And that's really important to me, actually.
What would you like some coaching on with the pillars?
Yes, so I sent you the link.
I see it.
Do you wanna, you can share that if you want, because and then
Yep.
you can put that into your
You know
into
what?
your
I'm all look, we're
if you want.
already same page.
Cool,
Love
brilliant.
it. Okay.
Good. Okay, so a lot of it is what you and I spoke about to begin
Mhm.
with. And then thank you.
I was like,
Um,
sorry, it's like
yeah,
my
it's good, it's good.
ADHD.
And then a lot of it is the Stephen Covey stuff I've been doing, reading
Mm-hmm.
about again, which has been really nice. Um, what do I want the coaching on?
I see some stuff that I already am like thinking about. Do you want me to kind of like,
Yeah, because I don't really. I think this is it. I'm just feeling a bit like I'm a bit disengaged from it.
okay,
And I just kind of want maybe, maybe your views, some chat about it.
yes.
That'd be good.
So one of the
Hmm.
things I'm noticing here is I think we shift a little bit, and this is just something to be mindful of. I think we think that a lot of our clients have the same verbiage that we do. And um, we want to
Hmm.
create connections from all the things that you know and kind of like help them out there. So one of the things that I noticed is like circle of influence, circles of concern, audit of competencies. That was the first thing that kind of like stood out to me. I was like, ah, you know these things potentially from the things that you're getting trainings on.
Yeah,
And with your program, how long is it? Remind me.
6 months.
6 months. Okay. So they're inconsistent, overwhelmed, scared. They have fear of failure, self-doubt, lack of confidence, can see the future, but not sure how to get there. Where do they want to be 6 months from now?
Yeah, that's what I kind of got at the bottom of it.
Is it here?
Hmm.
They would go up a gear. They want to have direction. Like,
But maybe I should like leave that because that's what I kind of said a couple of months ago. Now I'm kind of yes. What do they want? It's all right. It's
double
pretty much the same.
okay, I'm just checking and
We
seeing what we
only
had
had three.
before.
We had 3 rather than 5, I think, when we started.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So
Yeah.
here's what I'm thinking. The reason why I didn't talk about mindset initially is I know that like all these things have to do with mindset, right? But as a founder, I'm not sure if people would be Googling how to have better mindset.
Mhm.
So I think that's the original one we had as burnout and stress management. I
Mhm.
think that could be like if we could choose kind of like a piece of this,
Mhm.
I think that would be helpful. What do you think about it? And I also think that like it's multiple things. Like it's like the consistency is time management. Overwhelm is like probably burnout. Overwhelm, scared, fear of failure, that's burnout. Um, Confidence is like I feel like related to self-doubt, you know? It's like I feel like that's a separate one. Um, this is like direction. So it's almost
Mm.
like we've got like you've got so much in your brain. I think what's happening, what I'm seeing is that like you're just like, "Oh, okay, I know this." And I think we want to make it just easy for the algorithm to send you people.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, because I think that like what I did is like I was like, okay, like I am doubting, I'm fear of confidence. I would do a post about this a week. So it'd be like this would be one post of the week, next post of the week, this would be a
Mm.
post, but I think it's almost like separate things.
Mm.
So it's like inconsistent is one, overwhelmed, scared, fear of failure. Like these are like the 4 different subsections of this that I see.
Mhm.
And I think the insecure kind of goes here at confidence. So I just want to make sure, like, when you talk about this different topic a week, I think what would happen is I would love for you to like either break this apart so that you can like help more people. I think that like they'll come to you if they're like, okay, I'm struggling with consistency. I'm struggling with fear. I'm struggling with confidence. I'm struggling with direction. I think that could be really helpful. With this
Mhm.
one, what was now that you see that it's kind of separate, what were you thinking would be kind of like this pillar? What were you thinking mindset was mostly?
Words that's coming up, but it may be a bit too highbrow. It's like steadfastness.
I think you're onto yourself. I'm like, I love that. I
Mhm.
was like, what are they Googling?
That's a good question. How?
Do you want to come to an easy? I think this might be. Do you want to go to the other ones and then come back to this one?
Okay, all right.
I think
Yeah.
it might be helpful.
So the next
Let
one was decision making.
right. Okay, let's think about this. So with decision making,
Mhm.
we've got like the priority. Okay, so are they Googling how to make better decisions as a business owner? I don't know if I knew I was indecisive, but I don't know if I was Googling it. I think
Mm.
what if like if you think about it, it's like almost like what is the
Mm.
problem that makes them see that they're indecisive? And I think it's almost like that's like more like direction. I think it
Mm.
could be more like goal ambiguity that makes them feel inconsistent. You know what I mean? It's like it's I feel like this is so it's like this is once they hear you say that, they're gonna be like, oh yeah. But I think that
Mm.
like so let's maybe come back to this too. But
Okay.
management I like. I was like, where's kind of like this one I think is great. And
Mm.
how do you feel about saying time management?
So
Do
I
you not like
originally had time management,
I think you did too.
but I changed it because I thought it would, I think it is time management, but it's also like self-management as well.
Okay. Okay.
But I can put time management. I mean, it
Well,
was originally
I'm just
time
thinking
management.
that
I've
like
just
when you
changed it.
talked about like the interpersonal skills and things like that, that's where my brain was like, "Ooh, okay, this is like that makes me think about like management or it's like people management skills, like leadership skills. I
Yeah.
think that that could be where we
Yeah.
put some of
Well,
the
that's
here.
the direction I'm going, is leadership skills.
Mm,
That is so the direction at the moment
okay.
is it's with uh, founders who are like 3 years to 10 years into their business.
Okay. How big
Yeah.
are their teams?
So the one I've got at the moment, she's got 8, and the other guy's got 20. So it's kind of between that.
Do we say like, do you want us to make it like a minimum like 5 to 30?
Yeah.
I like that. I think we're getting more clarity on your ideal client.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
they've been in business for 8 years. How much money does their business make a year?
So that is the bit that I don't know, actually.
Let's
Um,
think about it.
Someone's
Who
asked me
is
that, and I've said it's not about the money, it's more about but it must be, because they're not going to be hiring me if they haven't got a certain turnover.
or a
So I
team?
do need to kind of know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe let's do
Um,
like
okay, let's say 1 million. Okay. Yeah.
oh,
I don't
okay.
think they would, I don't think they'll have enough funds to hire me. I don't know, 150K.
You
I don't.
y'all hired me. I was like, I work with people. I would say it like you can
Yeah, okay.
for the mastermind, I would say like
Mm,
it's 5K. I think that's a reasonable like price. You can slap it on a credit card. I know how you guys know how to do business
mm,
expenses somewhat at the very beginning of your business. I would say
mhm,
that my one-on-one, because it is 12K, I would say that that's where I think like if you've either made around 25K or I think about it as like overall, or I'm like, okay, what kind of like
mm,
how much is your offer? And could I help you sign that many clients to replace the investment?
mm,
So that's kind of like the way I think about it.
mhm,
But I do think that for me, when I hear teams, that
mhm,
makes me think that it's probably more of a larger company. Like it's like I would say that I have a team of kind of two partial
mm,
contractors and I'm hiring 2 more. And I'm
mm.
like, but I would have never done that before 150K,
No, exactly. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
People do, by the way. People totally do. But I
Yeah.
think that like you want to be and so it's like if we're thinking about that person, what are
Mhm,
they Googling and what are they looking for? That can be
mhm,
really helpful too. I think that already just gave you like I can just see your face. You're like, oh, okay, different thinking about it differently, you know?
mm.
I like, do you like the word leadership skills or interpersonal skills?
So I think leadership skills that's becoming like my bigger umbrella within that. So that's where the decision making is coming in, is in the leadership
Yeah,
skills.
let's do it.
Because for me, the leadership skills is now about self rather than systems. So it's not about, a lot of the people I'm speaking to have already
Mm,
got the systems, like they're 4 years into their business. So
mm,
they're not really kind of responding too much to that. They're like, yeah, we've already got that. But now what I'm playing with is
mm.
difficult conversations with my staff, or
Yes. I
um,
think that like, what if we call it like revelation? That's the only, I actually like this one. I think this one's good. I'm gonna zoom out a smidge so everyone can see the whole thing.
yeah,
I actually like this. I think this is good. And then each one of these
yeah,
things is a different post. It's like, are you feeling frustrated in others?
yeah.
When was the last time you actually enjoyed a difficult conversation? Do you know how to manage your team? Like all this is like huge, you know?
Do you
With
think I
it.
should just focus on that as my pillar, and then break that interpersonal skills down into Like, should I leave? I don't mind.
I like interpersonal skills. I would just
You know what I'm
change.
saying is like, should I take that? That's quite a chunky pillar, and we could break it and make that into 3 or 4.
I think that this one's a better one to break down. I actually think that like, or at least like move some stuff around in this one. I think this
Mhm.
self-leadership is something that we want to put here. Like, confidence and leadership is what I'm thinking here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talk about like the leadership, something. Just putting that for my brain to think about for later.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't love about the revelation, if we think about like the revelation, it's like awareness, but I want it to be like, okay, like so for example, one of my friends, they were talking and they were like, okay, this person requested a refund. And like this person, it's like, okay, things like that. And it's like, okay, we just make protocols every time there is a issue with a relationship with a client, we have something to do. When I hear about revelation, I don't know, but for me, it feels like a one-time thing. It's like,
Good
it's like,
point.
oh,
Yeah,
it's like I'm
good point. Yes,
surprised.
yes, I hear you.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I
And so it's
do.
like
Mm.
versus like something that like every time, like here are like the things that I do every time I have an issue with a relationship, like a like the relationship, none of these words really fit, but like the relationship, I don't know, just maybe think of a different word here.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
Or it's like,
yeah.
the positive relationship.
Yeah.
What's another word for skills?
Expertise. Um,
Like it's a skill, so it's like something you like the positive relation trait, like it's like the positive relationship. If anyone has any ideas, put it in the chat.
Experience.
Experience. Like that's why I'm like, it's not like just one time. Sharon, I'm so with you.
Like
Also, your
ongoing,
hair looks great, Sharon.
it's a growing understanding of how relationships work, isn't it? It's kind of
Okay,
like
okay, yeah. So it's like the
kind of
positive
like
relationship,
evolving,
like
evolving thing.
Mutually beneficial.
or mutually beneficial. I was thinking, what about accelerator? Like the me your accelerate. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a mutually beneficial, but it's like
Yeah.
it's something that you do to build. Like I was gonna say builder, but it's like builder's like not a very technical term. You know what I mean? It's like the positive relationship creator. I don't love those words, but
Yeah. Accelerated,
like,
because that implies that they've already got good skills,
yep,
but now they up their game
just need to.
because
Yeah,
now
I
they're
kind of
having
like
to deal
this.
with their CFOs and their CTOs and whatever. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All
Okay,
right.
cool.
That's good. All right.
Just because I'm like, it's not necessarily like a one-time thing. It's
Mm,
like you're gonna accelerate all your relationships in a positive way. Love.
mm.
Okay. So we love interpersonal skills. Crush it. What about
Yeah.
resilience? The thing that I'm noticing here is I really like this. It's kind of
Mm-hmm.
the same words of here. Like I think it's a little bit of this
Yeah.
here. So maybe we move this down to here. And I like the word resilience a lot. I don't know if they're Googling resilience, is my only thought. But I just actually did, I was looking for my own research about like um hours that business owners work. And one of the things, it was like, it's a lot. It's like literally 82% of business owners, only
Mhm.
82 work less than 40 hours a week. Actually, that's not right. 19. Wait, 19 minus brain. I lied in my post then. Um, I was like 81. Okay, so it was 81, but still close. I was like 81% are going through and they are working. And it was like, and also like only 57% take vacations at all, and 60% do. So it's like, but it was like 62 said stress is worse than they imagined. They love it, but they're still like, damn. But it was like the downside of working long hours, stress and anxiety, exhaustion and burnout. So what I would do if these are like the big issues that we're seeing, maybe we take one of those because they're probably able to identify that in themselves. You know what I mean? And then we can make it like, I would say like either stress, burnout, or
That used to be stress resilience. You can put stress back in again if you want.
what if we just move this and we create the resilience protocol?
Yeah,
Okay, I love
Yeah.
that. I was looking at that earlier and I was like, yep,
yeah, okay.
energy, perfect. Okay.
Mhm.
Last but not least, or two, okay,
Yeah.
so we got time management. I think that just makes sense.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, we've got person management, time management.
Mm-hmm.
And that was another thing that they were saying is like a difficulty because they don't know how to manage their time. Things bleed in.
Mhm.
Now we've got these two. I think now
Mm.
that I say confidence, I think that's clearer. And I would,
Mhm.
what I would do is I would be like, they will be, they will learn how to generate confidence to lead as the CEO of their business. Also, I've got stuff for you and Sharon, my
Mhm.
LinkedIn people. I want to show you guys something fun. So then maybe we say like the leadership, maybe we could say leadership skills here or like something like that. Or the leadership,
Yeah, and I like that because all of those things, the things I put in are for me the proactive circle of influence. That's
yeah,
fine. I'm not going to change those, but that I wasn't going to give those to my audience. But all of those are about working on yourself to become the better leader
maybe
that
it's
you
okay.
can.
Maybe it's like the leadership
Right?
shift instead of skills because it's
There's
like
another. Oh, I had a shift somewhere before
we
as
have,
well,
I
but
was
that's
like, we have skills here. And that's what
gone.
made me think.
Yeah, I think it was called the unstoppable shift originally.
Yeah, we did.
Um,
We had that as the
yeah,
unstoppable shift. But I
yeah.
like the leadership shift better
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
think it's
No, that's
clear.
good. That's good. Because that is
Okay.
the mindset and the confidence.
I think it is because I think you deal with like almost
Mm.
the unintentional model is stress, the intentional model is confidence. Um, and then
Wait, go back to what you just said. Say that again.
oh
The
sorry,
unintentional.
the unintentional model is burnout. The intentional model is confidence.
What does that mean?
So like you know when you do a model and you're like, okay, here are all the reasons, it builds awareness for why you're burnt out, stressed, or overwhelmed. I like to
Mhm.
think about that as like the unintentional half of the model. And then the
Mhm.
intentional half of the model is where you actually get to show up and decide how do you want to think, feel, and act intentionally. And that's like I think the shifts that they're going to be making here is they're going to be
So
like,
you're
okay,
talking about the thought work that you do. Is that what you're
yeah,
talking about?
yeah,
Oh, I see. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
intentional
Mm-hmm.
model. Because they got to
Mm.
figure out. And then I think that this is almost like the unintentional model to build
Mm.
awareness. Um, so I think that feels good. The
Mhm.
consistency in decision making. This is
Maybe
where,
it's not called decision making. Maybe it's about.
or maybe we just leave it consistency. And we got the
See,
decisive steps here.
the consult that I had, and he was this is where he was really struggling.
Mhm.
He was stuck in perfectionism, and he
Yeah.
kept fascinating. So that's why I brought it up about it. He just wasn't able to, everything else was going really well, but he couldn't, like, he couldn't make a decision on, like, this is really silly. Like, he said, I spent months on a brochure. He just couldn't get it
Mm,
out. Um, so
um, I don't love this. I was thinking if chat had anything interesting to say.
yeah,
Um,
Can I pipe in with an opinion?
please.
of course, Missy.
Hi.
Hi.
Devil's advocate. I have had tons of people in my life use the word indecisive, and I do think it resonates with people. But I could be wrong. But
Oh
I
yeah,
hear it all the time. People. I thought I heard you say you guys were trying to get rid of indecisive because that wouldn't be something people Google. But in my world, people are constantly complaining about their indecisiveness.
I'm
Yeah.
so with you. I think that like the decisive, I just like as more so the process. So you would still have indecision. Like the algorithm would get to know you, just like chat gets to know you. And it's like, it would be like, okay, if she's using the word decisive, you would still be able to have that there. I'm just thinking like, I'm just trying to think of a different word other than productive, prioritized, or efficient here. And I think
Yes,
consistency could be it.
because for me, the decision making is more strategic.
Yes.
The the
Maybe
time
we just
management
leave
is
this and
more
it's
like
just a long pillar.
management. Say that again. Sorry.
I was like, we just leave it and it's just a long pillar. I don't mind that. Yeah, I think this works. Like, so, because I was thinking, can you rank your consistency on a scale of 1 to 10 versus can you make your consistency in decision making on a scale of 1 to 10? I think you're going to
Mm.
get a more poignant answer in decision making.
Mm.
And you can play around if it serves you. So, like, maybe you decide to take out these words at a later time, but I think that's fine for now.
Mhm.
And I think that,
Interesting.
like, if we think about like this is just the way I would write your copy, like you know that they need to know the end in mind, but that would be in the copy.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I'm feeling good about this. How does this feel now?
Not sure
You
actually.
teach confidence, consistency, time management, interpersonal skills, and stress management.
Say that again. Say that again.
Okay, it's like when I refer people to Anise, they are
Mhm.
founders with a larger team that need help generating more confidence, creating consistency, managing their time, creating positive interpersonal skills, and overcoming stress. I think
Okay,
it
so
sounds
you
really good.
are, all right, so you're 3 years into your business, aren't you?
Yeah.
So do you think all of those things are still relevant for you?
Yes, 100%. I think that 100%. I think that this is like a different level of confidence. I feel more insecure leading a team right now. I'm like
Yeah.
actively getting coached on this. The
Mhm.
decisive,
Okay.
I
Mhm.
feel like I'm pretty decisive. I take that back. I was like, I do think that maybe it's not consistency, but I do struggle because I'm like, okay, I see like I want to combine both the groups, but I'm not sure. And I also want to start a course. So I'm like, it's like the next level of my business that I'm like learning about now. I
Yeah.
feel like
So that's
prioritization at this level, like I do think that like I prioritize things. I got in a system, got a bunch of clients, and then I was like, oh, I need to like relook at my schedule again. Definitely interpersonal skills because that's like I'm like, how do I create a positive relationship with my team? I would say like stress for sure, but I think that this is honestly like the only reason I know how to manage my stress is because I'm a coach. Like I don't think that other people would be like I think 100% of entrepreneurs and I could always get better with stress.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so I like this a lot. Really good question.
just going back to um yeah, so just the time management one's really so one of my founders, and she's like, what is she, 3, 4 years in now? Yeah. One of the
Mhm.
things we've been coaching on is like her dream life. She said to me when
Yes.
she started the business, right? She's like, oh, I was going to do yoga, and then I was going to do this, I was going to do that, and I was going to look after my kid, I was going to go to school plays. Basically, she's working her arse off, right? And so we're just spending time going, okay, let's scale it back. Let's scale back. What do you really want in your life? So I
Yes.
realized that's actually kind of important because I think for the first 3 years, you do put in the graph, don't you? You
Mhm.
just put everything on the side and you're
Everything.
working. So I think it's quite an interesting area. I've kind of vacillated a little bit that thinking that was too amateur, but actually it seems to be quite
I think
a
it's just at a
key.
different level. Like I think it's
Yeah.
like I'm like it's like if someone was like if you do you know how to manage your time to get to 6 figures? I'd be like absolutely. Do you know exactly how to manage your time to get to 7 figures? Absolutely not. Nope.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like that's where I'm
Yeah.
like learning. I'm like, oh, okay. It's like and I was talking with like a lot of people about like they've got like project management software and all this like new stuff that like you
Yeah.
definitely don't need as a solopreneur, but it's like just like a lot of new skills. And it's like I'm like figuring out how to continue having my 8 hour work week. I think it's just like learning. It's like a learning experience. However,
Yeah.
I wanted to offer a way that you can find more of these founders. Fun
Yeah.
fact, LinkedIn for Sharon, you as well, anybody else who wants to look for other people who might be founders, a way that you can do that. Like my friend had me go like founder coach or like founder graphic designer, founder XYZ. You could even just do
Mm.
probably founders. Like, and you could just do, you're gonna get a ton, and you connect. Ooh, cool. That seems cool. And I just like go through, and I'm just like, okay, like just connect with them. She said that was like because you don't really have a story. There's no way to connect with them personally,
No.
but like you can do 50 connections or 100 connections a week.
Yeah.
So it's just like a LinkedIn
Yeah, you
hack.
do 20 a day, and then you can DM them.
Can you do 100 a day or 100 a week?
You can do 20 a day. I mean, it's not like a cutoff, but it's 20 a day seems about right. That's what
Okay,
I've
I think
heard
we
recently.
Googled it, and I was like, because I was like, I just don't want to get banned from LinkedIn. And I talked to someone, they got banned, and they were like, oh, it's fine. I got banned
No,
from
no,
Instagram,
I
and
think
it sucked,
20,
but
20 a
it's
day seems to be what people who are hiring LinkedIn coaches, that's what
yeah.
they're coming up with. And they're saying, do 20 a day, DM them. And then I gave the guy like, oh, and then you could also put it on a spreadsheet. He's like, ooh, I was like, oh,
Ooh,
that's
it's like we love this.
I've been taught. So I kind of gave
Amazing.
that. Yeah.
The other
Yeah.
thing that you can do is go into like people. Um, you can go into
Yeah.
their
And you can
connections
yeah.
and do what's it called? There's a way. Oh, and you do second connection because they aren't your followers, and you just go
Yeah.
go through them like that.
But you
Um,
could go on people's comments. That I often do that. So if I see a comment I really like, and then I go and look at who commented on them, and then I look at what they said, and then you
yes.
get a feel for them, and then you connect that way. So it's quite, it's more meaty. So it's not just random, and you're kind
Yep.
of getting a feel for what they think and what they say.
Yeah.
It's quite nice.
And like
Um,
I think the other piece would be like if you like just like with what we talked about with Instagram, you
mm,
can go through and find a that just kind of like here, like following people. She gave
mm.
me 4 ways. There were 2 more ways. But still, I was like, oh, that's a great idea. Cause like on Instagram, you're looking up a person, whereas you can actually just search in
Mm.
LinkedIn. So
Yeah, you find groups. Yeah, it's a bit like
yeah,
Facebook, but groups. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we
And then
love
you can
this.
post it to groups. Let me just go back to my, wait, am I?
Your pillars.
Yeah. No, it's right. I'm just making sure that I've landed. Uh, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get a consistency within me, which is feeling that I can. So coaching a founder, CEO of these small businesses on their leadership skills, using all of those things that you and I have just spoken about. Also, coaching the same things to teams.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Because I
would do the
don't want,
team leaders. I would do like the managers or things like that.
yeah. But sometimes, like, I mean, one of them's only got, I mean, she's only got 8, and she's just saying she said to me, and he said, just need to fucking do what I asked him to do. Ah. I was like, okay,
Yes.
okay.
And you can start if you've
But
got
so for
connections.
them,
Hmm.
I'm trying, yeah. And it's getting there, I'm evolving it, but I think it's just for me, it's like trying, because I know what my brain's like. I'm so, I think it was Jess was, the multi-passionate. It's like, no, just kind of like really try and stay, I'm going to use the word steadfast because that's the word that keeps coming back to me. Think about what I really want to coach on, what's really important, and be able to offer it to the leader. And also I can say, look, I can do this for your team as well. We can do the same pillars.
And so if you're like meeting someone at a networking event and they like are like, oh, I work for Google. And you're like,
Uh-huh.
oh, cool. Like, what's your relationship in Google? You could be like, I've been looking to do a presentation. Do you know if like you could reach out to somebody, things like that? That would be a way that you could have like a connection and offer a presentation, or even just be like, if they're a manager themselves, be like, hey, I do a leadership coaching package. It's tax deductible for your company. And I feel like it could be really helpful for you to do X, Y, and Z. Just be clear, like whenever you pitch something or offer something, get like some numbers and monetary value.
Mm.
You know what I mean? To be like, this is going to save you time, money, and energy. What are your goals? And like, it's like ask about goals, and then pitch presentations. A lot of times, like people who are managers, they like are responsible and they're like, oh, I have to do like staff development one day. And they like, if you can do that, then that would be great. So this is for everybody. Find connections to everybody and pitch presentations. Like even your current clients, like, or not current clients, like when I was, for anybody who like coaches somebody in a corporation, 2 of my clients asked me to do presentations for their organization. And even though things didn't necessarily come from it directly, actually one of them, it did. I got a client directly from it, but people just saw that I was doing presentations for companies and they were like, ooh, like,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, you do that? Oh my God. Like, I want to work.
Yeah.
I want you to come to my company, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So awesome. I love this. How are you feeling now?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's freaking reach the peoples.
Yeah, yeah. No, I just yeah, I'm not feeling indecisive. I'm not feeling overwhelmed. I'm just feeling kind of want it to feel a bit more cohesive. And at the moment I feel it's a bit bitty, but maybe I just need to,
It takes time.
yeah.
I wouldn't like the cohesion.
Okay.
I promise you will, like, it just takes time for you to get rolling off your
Okay.
tongue.
All right.
But I do think that these are things that they're Googling. I do think they're actively trying to find like they are solvable problems. And the more you post about it on LinkedIn, use hashtags, the LinkedIn algorithm is going to help you too. Same with Facebook, Instagram, all the above.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. All right, I might actually.
Cool.
It's good. It's a really good question to ask. What are they Googling?
What are they Googling? Everybody ask yourself that. And you're going to get lots of clarity.
What are they Googling?
And you
'Cause
can even
then,
ask like Chat GPT and things like that.
yes.
Be like, write me a post about something that they're Googling related to time management or stress management.
Yeah, what are they Googling? Yeah, why not? Okay, brilliant. Thanks, love. That's great.
Of course.
Cool.
I love you. Let me know if you
Love
need
you.
anything else. I don't know why I said love you like we're hanging up. I was like, sorry. I was like, I do. I love you very much. Sharon, what would you like some coaching on? I'll give you a win first.
Okay. So my win that I think is good on my webinar is that I think I was trying to provide how to solve certain things, and what I wasn't as clear. So breaking down my webinar and organizing the slides into problem, solution, where they are, where they want to be, and then tying it back to how I can help with the career fulfillment roadmap, and then positioning myself as an expert and how to work with me. So that's like the layout that we need to consistently follow in our webinars.
Yes.
So I think I was focusing more on the tactics.
I know.
And so I had to go back and input some of that. So that way, it also is helpful because the other item that I was going to talk about on here is like networking, and people get to know, like, and trust me. I think the thing that I need to focus on is letting them, like, I think like I had a lady I had lunch with yesterday, and she had all the signs of, even like I went back and looked at the wording on my website, and she had all the signs of, she was burned out at work. She is making a transition into another job. She got tired of working all the time and missing out on precious time with the people she loved. But at the same time, we got into a great conversation, but I think somehow I drove home thinking, I know we ended, like, we had a really good relationship and we'll continue to have a relationship. I met her at a networking event a while back and stayed in contact. But I think for me, somewhere I'm not bridging that gap to turn them into getting them on a consult and making them into a client.
Yep. This is the tricky part, but it's like something that like, so it's like we already like, if we're thinking about like the steps of like taking a person and converting them to a client, you're
Mhm.
already great at the networking. You're already
Mhm.
meeting the people. Now all we need to do is just figure out how do we bridge that gap? Like what, there must be some cool way to bridge the gap and make it easier for them. So what I'm thinking is when you're having a conversation with not just her, but like anybody else or this human, I don't know what they're just
Yeah, I
as
have another event tonight, so it's
perfect.
yeah.
So this is where we want to create like something that's really compelling for those people to have an opt-in.
Mhm.
So what kind of things are they like not only just Googling to solve, but like what are their like true goals? Another way to call it is like pain points, which is like I don't love the use of the word pain points, but like what are like their big points that they like really, really want that you help solve for?
They want a career with purpose, and this is what I have. Like I was looking back on my website. They want a career with purpose and they want work-life balance. They want to stop feeling exhausted. They want to stop being overstressed. They want to have their to-do list shortened. In fact, that was something I helped this lady with yesterday because I was like, well, you could go buy these things, but if you, I mean, instead of spending the time baking this, what would you rather be doing?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and again, they're working, and that's the thing, they're working way too much and they're missing out on the time with their family and friends and yeah.
Okay. I'm writing random words that I will explain. So one of the things that we want to do is this goes for everybody in your posts. This also goes for everybody in your um interactions. There are two things that people need to like shift them sooner to be a purchase. Inspirational content and aspirational content and or conversations. So it's like in content and conversations. This is where we want to be getting to. We want to figure out is what is going to be inspiring to them and what is going to be aspirational. Inspirational is painting the vision for their dream life slash future. Aspirational is being like, I am the example of what you want your dream life to look like. So maybe questions that you're asking, we want to guide in these two directions. We want to be like, it's like we want to be their paint the vision for them. So for instance, with the to-do list, instead of telling her how to solve the to-do list and things like that, I'd be like, you did paint the vision. You were talking about like, how am I, what'd you say? You were like, would you rather spend the time or do this? Say what you said.
If you so in her case she was going to bake something. I said, well, would you, if you, and she was, I could tell she wasn't thrilled about baking these something for Fat Tuesday. And so I said, well, if you don't, she was like, well, I decided I was going to bake them. And I was like, well, if you don't bake them, you have that time to do what? And so it was actually clean her cabinets, but I was I was like, well, that looks like you feel more joy about that than you do about baking. So you can go buy it. It's a trade-off. So it's that 80, it's the, I'm going to give up this. It's a trade-off. Like if I want more time with my child, maybe I need to hire somebody to do the laundry so I could spend those 2 hours I'd have doing the laundry of time with my family. So it's that 80-20, the trade-off.
Yes. Okay. This is brilliant. And I want you to think about like, this is a post, by the way. Like, I want you to like do this post and be like, instead of stop baking the Fat Tuesday snacks and focus on getting your time back to do things you enjoy. I was
Mhm.
talking with a friend of mine. We went to lunch and she realized that like she was trading her time in a way that didn't serve her. So I coached her informally at lunch, and we talked about how to focus on things that would create more joy and more productivity in her life, which for her includes cleaning her cabinets. I know that you guys need to be like making time for what you have to do instead of time or feeling like I want you to make more time for things that you want to do versus things that you have to do. If that's something you're struggling with, that's what we do in here. Sign up, you know?
Okay. Okay. So this event that I have tonight, it's called a Galantine event. It's a bunch of women that
Yeah.
I've been to a group before, and they're getting together. So it's going to be more of a social. So what would be like, as I'm just as an example, like I'm going to meet people, I'll talk to them, ask them questions. I'm open to maybe there's something I need to be thinking or doing differently than I have previously.
I think that like in order to like, so it's like the goal is that we want to make things compelling and make sure that they like feel like there's a bridge that's been gapped. So when we're thinking about like becoming compelling, it's like, I love to help you. It's like, yeah, I would love to help you. It's like if you're looking to create more joy in your life, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be a little bit more casual than the way I explained it in the post version of this. But it's like, this is where we want to ask them questions. Like, it's like, are you trading these things off? What's going on? What are you thinking here? Those kind of things. And then we can go back to your pillars and we can ask questions about stress, time management, work-life balance, and long-term plan. Take those and start sharing about them. And those are the questions that I want you to ask. So be like, oh, like, and it's like, I know I'm so glad I got to come to this. I'm finally making more time for myself. I remember when I used to be in corporate, I was not making any time for myself. And now I finally have time and it's awesome. So this is where you want to be like, that's why I'm saying that you are the example of what their dream would look like. This would be like own, and it was like own your own business, ask some questions about pillars, create a personal connection. So being like, okay, it's like if they say, oh, I was struggling with this and I wanted to do this, a thing that you can do is you can be like, oh, I used to struggle with that too. And now I've learned how to manage my stress a little bit better. You see what I'm saying? It's like guiding
Yeah.
them.
Yes. Okay.
How does that feel?
That's good. I kind of started at the bottom of my questions, but it just was organic the way it went in. I have, we talked a little bit about LinkedIn,
Yeah.
when you were earlier. So my question on LinkedIn would be, so yes, I'm making connections, but where do you suggest starting, like going with, because we've spent a lot of time on Instagram, but do you do that similar type of posting on LinkedIn?
So I do my Wednesday, or it's like I think that my I'm gonna start just repurposing the posts
Okay.
like that.
So the same post-it style that you're doing where you create the 3 different kinds, the same style that you're doing on Instagram, utilize that same technique for LinkedIn. Is that what we're saying?
Yes,
Okay.
you're on it.
Okay.
And I take the same thing in my social media manager does it.
So you do, I think you had 3 steps, like you do like the style that you have there, and then you do a reel, and then you do something else. Like there's 3 different styles. I can go back to that, but is that correct?
Yes, cold, warm, and hot.
Okay.
So like this is my hot one. And actually she didn't change. It was like, sorry, Tara Steve. She my social media manager misspelled your name. So I had her take it down and put it back up. But like that was the warm or the hot. This is warm. And then this is the cold post. Oh. And then this is the cold post.
Okay. Because the other thing I'm looking at that, I'll do the cold, warm, and hot there. And then also that as I get more connections and as I'm promoting my webinar, I would think that would be a good place to do that as well. Okay.
Absolutely.
And then on the Google Doc form, you were going through that earlier. You were showing us how we were going to have our charts and stuff. My question there is, so I created a Google Doc for my client Sorry, I got a plane flying over.
I was like,
Okay.
is that you? I was like, who is? I was like, look, trying to figure out whose sound that was. I was like, that is a close plane, my friend.
Yeah, it's a plane flying over. So, okay, so I created that Google Doc. My question is, how do you several questions. One is, how do you then, like, I don't have a classroom. So do you just send them, like, if you have a client, do you just send them the link and then they go in there and do it? The reason why I had been incorporating the questions in our time, but I'm going to try to look if we can't just do them. Either she takes a few minutes to do the questions or ahead of time, because it's taken away from time of the coaching, if that makes sense.
Do you mean this?
So yes, so I don't have a classroom set up for my clients.
I just do this with them
Google.
live.
I have a Google. Okay.
Yeah, I was
The-
about to say I wouldn't do this in a classroom for your one-on-ones. For my one-on-ones, what I do is I don't know where my whole classroom went. But I'll tag you in it and anybody else, or I think it's in the selling system.
I've created the doc, and because I was going through a spreadsheet with her and answering all those questions when we got on the call. The challenge is that we lose time, valuable time, I would say,
Yes.
doing that.
What I do is I start
And
each session
so-
with this.
Okay, I do start with the 5 accomplishments, that what worked. I do that as well too. And then I end with how she's feeling about certain things. It's just, I'm
Great.
finding that as she gets to her 5 and all that, it's taking, she talks quite a bit. And so sometimes it takes
Yeah.
away from the time.
Well, I would say at that point, I was like, I think it's actually a decent thing if she's talking.
Yes,
actually
I
wouldn't-
agree.
Yeah, I would like, because there is going to be a time when you potentially run out of things to talk about. And you're going to be like, oh my God. It's like, what do we talk about? So feel free. I felt this urgency at the beginning too, with like, even recently, and it was like, oh my God, I have to give them the marketing calendar right now. They've got to get their offer and they got to do this and this and this. And it's like, or that's why they're working with me for 6 months.
Yeah, that's true. Well, just so I know, can you maybe, so my part too is I just want to understand from the Google Doc how I created the feedback document. I have the questions and stuff in there, and like you get feedback from us, the ones that we fill out for you monthly.
Monthly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how do you, if you don't have a classroom, how would you, do you just send out a link? And
Yep.
then how do you create the diagram? And then how do you, like, if you have multiple clients, how do you get that all dumped into a spreadsheet?
So the feedback is I have everybody use the same feedback form.
Yes.
So I don't separate that. And it all looks like this. So it's like
Yes.
here. And then I don't know who gave me each, but like you can see like different things here.
How does that, oh, it goes into the responses. Okay, I did see that on my, yes, so it'll go into the responses. And then, okay, I just wanted to know that from a tracking standpoint, because I feel like, and I actually, on her mindset, I went and created it all into a spreadsheet, because I feel like the mindsets, the thought work, if you put them, like, compare them like side by side, I start to see patterns that we need to address.
Right.
Makes sense.
And so you can just take a look here and you can see like these are like the words.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Really good question.
And then YouTube. So something I saw, I had pulled up a training that I looked into that I'm still learning on some of the social stuff. Something that I thought was really interesting is analytics. Are you tracking? Because we've talked about tracking on a lot of your other social. And I found it was interesting on analytics on YouTube, where it was kind of interesting because this gal has started out, and she started out as somebody who blogged, and then she has a growing business. She's the one, that page that I I sent to that she teaches people like Squarespace and designers and stuff. But I thought it was interesting how she talked about you can like in a post she couldn't tell where somebody read up to a certain point, but in YouTube she could see where people are interested and they looked at a video up to a certain area. So then she could see what was more popular, what wasn't more popular, where they stopped. I thought that was really interesting.
I agree. I think it's like such a fascinating thing. However, I will say I would rather like I don't even look at my analytics. I don't really look at my analytics for my email. I don't look at analytics for marketing really at all. I just like focus on giving more value. So I'm like,
Okay.
so like because you could get lost in the sauce
Right.
on like how long people stay and like how like I think that I would just if I were to look at the analytics, I would choose like one time to take a look at them for 30 minutes, maybe at the end of the week when you're doing your weekly eval. And like that's your like I wouldn't look at it daily. I wouldn't look at it like even
Right.
monthly.
What was interesting is she did a comparison of a breakdown between comparing like social media of what built people's audience
Yeah.
basically and also and like what you said nurturing and so that, and she was comparing like blogs, Instagram, YouTube and so that was interesting of how to really see, because like you even showed in your information like you how many clients you've gotten from presentations or webinars versus Instagram. So that's what I was just, because again I starting out you don't want to like try to do everything.
Exactly. Exactly. So at least you got something there. I think it's a great plan. And I also think that like the presentations and people that I got were presentations outside of my webinars. So it's
Yeah,
like,
they were in-person presentations. So
well,
yeah,
yeah, they were virtual, but, like, yeah, pretty much. I was like, you get it. I was like,
yeah.
it was for Wicked and for this 100K mastermind.
Yeah, it was like looking at your opportunity cost, because it's just like if you couldn't do, I think Stacy had said something, if you couldn't do, let's say you could only do 4 things this month for your business, what would those be to generate the most
Mm-hmm.
basically revenue for you? So you didn't feel like you weren't, if that's all your life was going to allow you, you made sure you were focusing on income producing activity. So, okay.
Yep. And probably something else. Networking events and maybe like networking online.
Mhm.
Amazing. But yeah, you were right on track. How are you feeling about that?
I think it's good. I think what I'm just trying to do is I'm trying to make sure I'm spending my time, uh, of course, focusing on building your clients, but, and not trying to get too overwhelmed from all the stuff that you don't know.
Yeah. I was like, yep. That's why I was like, we literally, you know how to network. I remember how we talked about, like, I think last week, it was like, okay, here are the things I for sure know how to do. I know, oh, no, what was last week? 23rd or 30th? It was like, these are the things I for sure know how to do. Where are you? Yeah, it's like, number 1, go to networking events. Number 2, social media. Number 3, do the webinar. Number 4, work towards virtual networking. So that's what I would say your plan is. How does that feel for you though?
So, well, go back to that just real quick and I'll ask a question.
Like, yeah.
So it says, okay, networking events, I have that. Social media, I would say, wouldn't it be, my thought is thinking like if my webinar is going to be time management, my social media should be focused on time management. And then while I'm focusing on those posts, I should also then make sure they connect with my webinar is what I was looking at
Yeah.
when so I think I was when I just saw that, I was like making sure that I wasn't, putting the cart before the horse type thing.
Yeah. I think this is looking really good, lady.
Okay.
How are you feeling about it?
I think we're good.
I think so too. I'm like, this is looking, I feel good about this for you. And if you have any other questions, let me know.
Okay.
You got to. All right, Missy.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm
Let's start with the
good. How
win.
are you?
Doing-
Okay. I got a client this week and she paid in full. So that's
Oh
pretty
my
fun.
God. This is awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. Pretty exciting. So, but actually what was more cool, which I just put in my
Eval?
progress thing, is that I tend to, it's only my third paying client, but even with free clients, I would tend to all of a sudden get stuck in, okay, how am I going to coach them? What am I going to do? And just get like totally in the weeds on like starting them. And I have a process and I have my folders and I have my sheets. So I got her organized in like an hour, ready to go. And now I'm focusing on the next client. So that's actually probably a cooler win.
Oh my God. I love this.
Thanks. So that's kind of my question. I'm not very focused though, so feel free to pull out whatever you want with this. Something to the effect of, I've done sort of similar to Sharon, where I feel like I'm doing a really good job of getting myself out there in front of people, meeting people, expanding my network. But then here's what it actually is. My problem is I still feel like I'm unclear when I go to talk about exactly how I'm helping. I can't believe I'm saying this again. I do this every
No,
damn
no,
week.
it's fine.
But yep, that's where I'm at.
I was like,
It's
we're
real.
getting there. Okay. I want you to think about like, what is your thought that makes you feel unclear? I don't know what
It's
I'm
something
saying.
like because, yeah, like because I can help with everything, I'm not helping with anything.
Okay.
Because as a general life coach, it feels like,
Okay.
even though I do feel that I'm more and more confident with the coaching, it's just the delivery of the
Mhm.
discussion.
Okay. So what I would say here is if we're thinking about this like idea that's like unclear, do you help people with grief?
I would.
But like you're not a grief coach. It's like
No, that's true. If I would say no,
right.
that's not
Okay.
my
So we've got
specialty.
direction, clarity,
Not what I'm going for.
wellness.
Oh, and I've changed it 1,000 times since then.
Love it. Okay.
That's
So
not my real
which is
version.
okay, wait, that's interesting also. Like whenever we're changing our prices, we always want to take a gander at it, right? So or changing anything, we want to take
Yeah.
our thing, we just want to take a look at it, a little gander. What are your current pillars?
They are, I can't actually see because I have my
You want to
phone.
put them in the chat? Or
So
something?
no, that's okay. So it's mindset, awareness, decisions, and something. What's the fourth? Mindset, awareness, decisions. That's not good that I don't know the fourth. I'm gonna find it.
Okay, interesting. I'm
Yeah.
intrigued. I was like, both you and Anise decided to change your pillars to mindset. I'm like, that's interesting. I'm like,
Well,
what
it's
did you
funny
think
because
about the coaching I gave her?
I obviously could resonate with it. I'm like, I don't know, Megan. I'm very annoyed with my wishy-washiness on it.
Oh, it's okay.
No, I can resonate with it. I just I think it's because as a general life coach, I get stuck with it feels like I get boxed in. But then in the opposite, what's really helpful is when I've been really focused on my Instagram where I'm picking like a mini category every week.
Yeah.
And so I like the pillars for that. It seems to work. But when I go to actually talk to somebody, it doesn't feel as useful. Okay. I might have already said these: goal setting, planning, mindset, awareness, and decisions.
Okay. So I'm
Which I guess
hearing that
isn't
goal
that
setting is
different than
kind of
where I
here.
started. Yeah.
Goal setting. What was the other one? You said mindset, which we've got for stress.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
Awareness and decisions. Actually, I guess I haven't changed that much.
I
I got
really
rid
don't
of
think so.
wellness.
And I think that like, okay, maybe, well, why do they need awareness?
Well, I think awareness is the beginning of everything. Like you can't change if we aren't aware.
Can
But to your point, what you're talking about as far as like no one's Googling, am I aware?
Which do you think could it fit into something? If they're
Um,
unaware, what happens?
if they're unaware, they'd stay in the same pattern, so kind of stuck. I think unaware, it's probably partially with mindset.
Well, I was thinking actually like maybe with the clarity, direction, goal setting awareness. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't use the word awareness as a pillar. Like I
Yeah,
couldn't,
I agree with
just because I'm not sure if I could rank my awareness on a scale of 1 to 10.
that.
I'm like, I don't know. But I like these. We could totally take out wellness if you want. Would you like to?
So thank you for asking. The reason I struggle with that is I actually love coaching on wellness. I do that quite a bit.
Like
So I
Missy.
don't.
Like I know you do. I'm like, that's why you do like all so I'm like, wait. Why?
I think, yeah, I mean, it seems this is a roundabout non-answer to your question, but
Love it.
maybe
Bring
it'll
it.
make sense. So I'm always looking for common threads with my clients to try to figure out who the hell I'm helping and like if there's a consistency to it.
Okay.
And it seems like every single person that I coach, it's like they've kind of stopped doing what they want in their life. So they're like a mom, a friend, a sister, an employee, and they just have kind of eliminated themselves from their life. So I help them kind of get themselves centered back into their life.
Okay.
So
Why
that
do
I feel more clear on. Sorry, I cut you off.
Okay, you're good. So why would they pay you to help them there? What is like their big driver? Like, are they going to make more money, save time, or have more energy?
I would say energy is a big one.
Okay. Where do
Energy and
tired
like fulfillment.
Okay. Um, where do the tired people hang out?
See, and that's my problem. I don't want to work with tired people.
Okay, where do people who need
I want to meet
energy?
people in the woods.
You want to meet people in the woods. I was like, well, I don't know how much I can help you there. Well, actually, what if we do like a meetup group and
I have been doing that.
you
I've
get
been
to hang
doing,
out with hikers?
I have been doing that. Yeah.
Okay. Where okay, and I wrote here, I was like, here are these ideal client questions. It's like in here you can think about like what are their demographics?
Yeah, I did work through a bunch of this. I feel like I'm just always, I mean, I guess we're always just making it up because my people I've worked with have ranged from 20 to 65.
Who's your favorite?
Women. Um,
Not to play favorites.
she was no, but that's fair. If I could have like 20 of her, she was probably late, like 30.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. So it's like, so if we're thinking about people in their 30s
Mm-hmm.
that could use
30s to
these kind of
40s
things.
probably.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're thinking about these people. Are they in corporate America?
Yes, and many of them are unhappy about it.
Could you go to some corporations and announce it? Be like, hey, would you like for me to do a presentation? I would love to talk to your people all about how to have wellness in the workplace. And you could be like, wellness in the workplace. And here's an idea that I have for you. If you find a company, apparently, have you guys ever heard of like an HSA account? Anise, you might not have those, but it's like a health savings account, and
Mm-hmm.
they apparently will pay for coaching.
Man, I'm in the wrong business. That's
What do
cool.
you mean?
No, sorry. My day job, I can't get them to pay for my coaching. I'm federal. You're
See,
right. I'm in the
like
right business to help other people pay for my
exactly.
services.
Yes. And it's like you could be like, so this is where if you're talking about places to connect with people, you could this would be like an adjacent one. Contact a HR on LinkedIn or something like that, and that's where you could find some people. You might have frozen. Can you hear me?
No, just my brain.
Or are you just thinking? You're just thinking it's like
Yeah. No, so what's throwing me, and I think that's why I keep hesitating for away from wellness, is as much as I love when my clients bring me wellness goals, that I feel
it's
it's
so much
probably some
more.
type of like, it's, well, I just feel like I'm not certified in any specific wellness field. Like the mindset feels truer to my trainings because it's like helping me, I can help them use their brain to find solutions for their wellness. Which I guess that's the same thing. Maybe I just need to call it something different.
Yes.
You know what I
So
mean? It's like the
what
word
if it's
wellness just throws me.
okay? What if it's like mental health? Like you help them with their health.
Yeah, I'll have to keep playing with it. It's something, it's actually helpful to see that in writing because it's something about what feels true to me is using their brain, like helping them be their own resource rather than always looking for external, like more podcasts, more books, whatever.
Yeah. What about like, okay, so they probably need direction and clarity because they are struggling with um their job. They might need help with decisions. So you could do a presentation about decisions. You can definitely help them with stress. So what if we just do stress? Let's just go there. Could you do a presentation with them and talk about stress?
Well, I actually have a webinar planned for Monday that's on values, which I can kind of spin that the same way because it's like when you're out of alignment with your values is often what causes stress. So that sort of works.
Yeah, it does. I'm like, mic drop, let's go. I genuinely think that's it. What if we say like it's like we make a stress management presentation, present it to them, and be like, boom.
Yeah, that's interesting because I feel like not everybody resonates with values. Like I'm love them and I'm a big dork on it, but that's, I think stress is easier. I got to
It's an
backdoor in with
easier
the
in.
values. Yeah,
Exactly. It's like
exactly.
the pillar is stress, the process is values,
Yeah. I like that.
right?
Yeah, I'll play
It's
with that. That's fun.
I like this too. I'm like, I think this is really good. And so when you're thinking about like finding these people, I want you to keep that in mind and be like, no, because I think your brain is telling you that I can help with everything and I feel unclear. And so what if we have the same
Hmm
thought? I can help with everything and that makes me clear.
Yeah, I'm gonna focus on that one because I love that.
You know what
And
I
I think
mean?
it's true. I just need to decide it's clear because it could be.
And what it's like, what if we just need to figure out an angle for each? I just need to figure out an angle to create the most value to help with something.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Amazing.
Okay, I like it.
Okay. What are you going to take? What actions are you going to take from this clear new mindset?
I'm going
Also, what's
to
your goal?
create
What's your goal right now?
with like generally or with this.
You
Well, to
mentioned
get
like,
more, like to get my next client. So I need 6 more clients.
okay, so if we want to sign 6 more clients, what would you need to think?
I mean, I think the biggest thing I need to think is I can help them or they want coaching, something super simple. It's very simple.
When you think like I can help them or they want coaching, how do you feel?
Um, kind of determined to find them. Yeah, determined.
I'm picturing like, you know, that song, it's like one way or another. I'm gonna, it's like, that's what I'm like picturing, you know, it's like, I think that's the way we need to go. What?
Can you
If,
put that next to determined so I don't forget that?
oh
Because I'm gonna
yeah,
play that
it's
later.
like one way or another. That's like the theme song. It's like,
I like it.
that's where we're at. And so what would you like to do from this place? Let's sign, what if we want to sign a couple clients? When do you want to sign these 6 clients? How many clients do you want to sign in February?
I could sign 2 more in February. That would be very cool.
Would that be so fun? Okay, what would you want to
Yeah.
do to find these 2 more people?
Um,
You're doing the webinar.
so I'm doing the webinar, gonna keep up with my Instagram. I'm consistently going. Okay, so I'm going and doing other things. I need to make more offers. It's the short thing I need to do. Instead of just meeting people, I need to actually say out loud I can help them.
And what we do consistently making offers on your stories, Sharon, this is for you. If you are going to these in-person networking events, take a selfie with them. Be like, I'm going to tag you in this. I'm going to post this in my story for the Valentine's Day one, whatever you're doing. And then the next post after you post a picture with them, book a consult. Here's what I do.
Yeah.
They're like already becoming friends. Nice, Sharon.
You
I was like, you don't really have
don't know it, but you love me already.
You do. I was like, and I love that. And so guess what? You're gonna sign 2 more clients. Is it gonna be the end of February? I don't know. But for the webinar, how many people do you want to come live? Or how many do you want to register?
15 would be cool. I mean, more would be great, but 15 seems doable.
How many went live?
Let's go 10.
How many consults?
Oh, Megan, that's the real question.
Isn't it? I was like,
Okay.
that's why I'm asking
Yes.
it.
4.
How many clients? 2?
2. Let's do
Okay,
it.
so
Let's get it all from the webinar.
let's just like get it all from the webinar. So I want you to like think about that as you go about this webinar. Like 15 people are absolutely going to come to this. How can you get 15 people on there?
So I have 4 signed up. I've got planned out every day my Instagram posts with a reminder. I'm gonna do emails, which I've never done more than 1 email a week. But I heard you yesterday, I think, say like do more. So I'm gonna do an email a day. And I'm going to use the stress angle instead of focusing on the values in my email because I think that might be helpful, like way more useful. So
Freaking
that feels
love
good.
it.
Yeah, that feels good.
How you feeling, lady?
Better. Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Cool. Before I sign off, just if anybody's still on, can you guys send me in the chat? I think there's someone else here that's an IPAC person, and I would love to know who you are. That's all.
Ooh,
Thank you.
love it. Of course. I think Sharon is. And
Cool.
I really want to coach you, Tammy, and I have to run to the bathroom really, really bad. So we're going to take a quick potty break. Come back in 2 minutes.
Sounds good. Cool. Sharon, are you still there? Is it true? Are you IPAC?
I'm here. Yeah, I was here. I just like to have it focus on you, so I turn my camera off.
Thank you. I turn it off when everybody else is going and clean because otherwise I get busy in my computer. So I'm a better listener when I'm cleaning.
I understand that. I'm a dancer when I'm cleaning.
I love it.
Play the tunes and
Yeah.
lunges during my vacuuming.
This sounds like an Instagram reel.
I was cleaning my chairs the other day and the music came on because I have this music that comes on, it's party time, like it's party. That's when you got to get up and dance no matter what you're doing. But I was cleaning the chairs around my table. So I just kept, cleaning the chairs and dancing around them. I don't know. It's funny.
Why not? I love it.
Glad nobody
Might
saw
make
that.
it fun.
Yeah. I'm dusting. Dusting's never fun.
Dusting's the worst. It doesn't
Yeah.
happen very much in my house. That's a lie.
Because it all comes back.
Mhm.
What did she say that what was the question?
So from coaching certification, I went through a school called IPEC, IPEC, and she thought maybe you were, but I'm
Oh,
not.
that wasn't me.
wonder if I'm not sure it really is anybody. It's just curious because it's sometimes I think I get confused because they have so many particular things they teach that all of a sudden when I'm going through the pillars, I'm like, am I being inconsistent? And trying to
Yeah.
figure out how to make it my own, but still use what I was taught.
Well, I think that's the case, is that you have that creative liberty to make it your own. And that's what
Mhm.
people are going to connect with in the first place. You get the foundation, but then you put the spice in that's just Missy's.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, thank you, Tammy. Well, I'll sign off.
I was like, I love it. The official Missy spice. I'm like, that is what we're bringing to the business.
Good
So
stuff.
good. Davey, what can I help you with? Or start with the win. How are things
Um,
going?
Let's see, a win for me is that 3 of my clients graduated their 6 weeks of the Budget Blaster last week.
Hell yes. Graduated from Budget Blaster. What would you
Yeah.
like some coaching on, my dear?
I think for me right now, it's like bouncing. I don't even know if this is relevant. It's like that bouncing back after you're sick.
Oh, are you sick?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't see your, like, typically we always see you like doing a funny face or something. And I was like, I missed your face. Um, I love this thought because it's implying that you're backwards from being sick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And I think that what if you were just sick and you don't need to bounce back? Nothing needs bouncing back from.
Right.
I was like, what do you think about that? What
Yeah.
do you feel like what made you was your brain like identifying with like back?
Um,
Like was it like post didn't get done that you planned on? Like what is like the I'm backwards?
posting, posting, canceling on client appointments. Um, I'm sure I could have missed potential new signs as a result of not consistently posting, um, things falling through the cracks.
Clients. Okay. So I think what's happening, this is going to happen for literally everyone on this call. So just be prepared for this. You are going to get sick in your business. You are going to not post for weeks. I promise. Sickness is going to be a circumstance. We are going to have this, and your brain just kind of defaulted to a traditional employee. I think that's what's happened. And a traditional employee does actually potentially have a certain amount of things that need to get done. They have client appointments they need to uphold. They need to, um, they could miss deadlines. So, of course, this is where your brain went. Things falling through the cracks. Like in a traditional job, when someone else is giving you a deadline, that could be factually true. However, my friend, I want to offer that you being sick as a CEO of a company, now you get to redefine what sickness means to you. You make the deadlines. So it's like you decide that like I chose not to post last week because I was sick. Like I think essentially what's happening is like when the sickness is outside of you, it's really easy to feel like the plans are out of your control. And I want to help you bring back that control slash empowerment as a CEO. Because the missed potential new things, it's like, oh, I chose to put off the new things until this week until I felt better. And that's what's happening here. I'm choosing to believe that my clients are in the future instead of in the past. I'm choosing to believe that if I have to move, and it knows how it's like canceled, but like we just moved them client appointments and they're going to be just fine. And the things that fell through the cracks, like I'm not going to choose to think about things like falling through the cracks. I'm going to choose to be like the things are it's like I got everything done that I needed to do. everything done that I needed to. And now I'm going to pick right back up where I left off. How's that feel?
Um, yeah, I mean, I can see that. I think the other thing too is like when you're an employee, you have sick time. When you're not, you don't
You
have any.
make sick time, right? So what do we, so you're going to get sick again. Let's make sick time for you. Let's take and let's take vacation hours. Just like you pay yourself, we're going to take time for yourself. I didn't work for an entire month last year. Like, and I was like, just because I wanted to. I chose to move all my clients in July. Didn't do anything other than have somebody else post for me. And I just got to be present and like travel. Like, we can do that as entrepreneurs. One of my clients in my first round of the mastermind, she was literally like, yeah, like, obviously, I'm just gonna like take a little bit of time off and spend 3 months in Bali. It's like, oh, wait, is that allowed? And I think that like I don't know if that's how it feels. Like to you, it's like, is that allowed? I can just decide that I'm like that I posted that my posts are working for me, the ones I did before, and I don't even need to do posts. And yes, the answer is you can just decide that like, yeah, this is what it looks like to be the CEO of a company. Oh, sorry, Tammy. I don't know if you heard. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I'm still kind of processing. I'm just kind of like, okay, that sounds great, but like in
Right?
terms of income coming in and signing people and that sort of thing, if I'm not doing the activities, um,
Answer that question.
yeah, if I'm not doing the activities, nobody's getting signed.
Okay. What if that's not necessarily true? What if, or maybe it's not that like, so they're not getting signed in that week, but like, what is your thought about that then? Like, if we are quote unquote behind or back, does that mean that like you give, like you're not going to sign any more this week, this month? That
No,
like,
I think my thought of let me think on this for a sec.
like it's some form of scarcity around money, clients, or time.
I think it's actually scarcity around clients, which is interesting.
I think so too.
It's
Okay,
like
so what? Mhm.
what I offer anyone who has a bank account who has ever struggled could use.
Okay.
Um,
Why are you feeling scarce around clients? What's your thought?
it's probably been a couple weeks since I signed a new client for Budget Blaster or for my 6 month. Like the 1 hour consults, that's easy. Someone ended up reaching out yesterday, and from bed I sent them the link and they ended up booking.
Right. So, but it was interesting because you had a thought that Budget Blaster was easy to sell. And like people just you just post it on your story and people just sign up. And so notice like so your brain is like the paid consult's easy to sell. Like it was like paid consult, Budget Blaster, and coaching are easy to sell. And then we took out coaching until you signed 10 into Budget Blaster. And then when we had the goal for Budget Blaster, it was like, ooh, but Budget Blaster, like now it's interesting that like now we've got that goal, maybe something's coming up here. Do you feel
Yeah,
like it's easy to sell still?
I think maybe there's more to it, but I just can't put my finger on it.
What's your thought about that? If we say a couple of weeks since I've signed a Budget Blaster client,
Hmm.
where are you
I
making that
think
mean?
probably that I'm not doing enough.
There we go. And how do you feel?
Um, like crappy, lazy.
Yeah. So what are you doing for this place? I'm not doing enough.
Um, lots of buffering,
Mm-hmm.
revamping, trying to refigure things that I guess don't really need to be refigured.
Mm. What are you not doing?
What am I not doing?
When you think I'm not doing enough and you feel crappy?
Wait, ask that again. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What are you? No, you're good. What are you doing when you're thinking what are you not doing when you're thinking the thought I'm not doing enough and feeling crappy? I'm guessing you're not giving yourself time to feel get better.
Yeah.
Time, space to feel better. Are you trusting people?
How do you mean?
Like, are you, it's like not trusting that you can take some time off while you're sick, not trusting that the people are
Oh,
coming.
no. Yeah, no, none of that. My client, I freaking love my clients. Are like the ones who I reached out to reschedule today are amazing.
Maybe it's
I
like the belief triad. Like maybe you're not trusting that like people will come in the future, not your current people, but like not trusting that more people are
yeah,
on the way.
yeah, I think that's what it is. Because
Yeah,
like I know the process itself works, and I know that um the clients will have breakthroughs if they show up and do the work.
that thought if they show up and do the work, like it's like I feel
Yeah.
like that your brain might be telling you that's without outside of your control. That like or they just them showing up to actually get coached and signing up, you know?
Yeah, because I haven't had a discovery call in a while. And usually like my closing
Yeah.
ratio is like 80 or 70 or 80% when I get some, get people showing up.
Yeah. And I want you to think about like, okay, if your brain decided to like look into deeper meaning about this and you kept going, what is your goal for how many clients you would like to sign into Budget Blaster this
Uh,
month?
I would love to sign, if I could sign 10 more, I would be to the moon.
Okay. Okay, so we got a goal of 10 clients.
That would be free. If I could do 10 a month, that would be, ooh,
Okay. I I think that you might not be I don't think that you're not thinking about like how you could sign 10 clients in 1 week. Like what if that happened, Tammy?
okay, you're saying focus more on what I want, not what I don't want.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I'm saying. It's
and
amazing how that shit works sometimes.
I think it's I think I'm wondering too if maybe it's thoughts of how I'm coming across on social media. Like, am I always just talking about my business? But then it's like I understand how the algorithms work and doing certain kind of posts so that they feed me out to more people who are my ideal prospective clients. Um,
Yeah. I would say you're catastrophizing that you're doing the wrong thing on stories. Like your brain, if you give your brain an unwinnable problem, like enoughness, it's going to be difficult for it to solve. And I think what's happening is you're focusing on what you do want, exactly what you said, instead of what you don't want versus what you do want. So if you would like 10 clients, the second that I said that, I heard a huge shift in your voice.
yeah,
You were like, "Oh, that would be amazing." I
yeah.
want you to think about like what would be different if you had 10 clients.
What would be different? It would as I work with them, it would give me more of a way to pre-record some stuff, kind of setting it up closer to an evergreen, not quite an evergreen thing, but closer to where if someone wasn't quite ready to invest 2,500 into doing 6-week Budget Blaster, they could easily, 997, then they just get like the templates and a good explanation of what it is. And then they could buy group coaching as an add-on to that. Or
Okay.
something like that, where it's like it allows me to make a spin-off of more offerings that would
I
help.
know your brain is like, your brain is like, the solution is to make more offers. And I'm like, okay, do you see what I'm saying? Your brain is like trying to solve the problem by changing the circumstance.
No, I'm missing it. Hang on, I'm reading what you wrote. Would be
Okay,
different.
so I think your brain is like, people aren't buying my offer, so I need to create more offers and have a group coaching offer and do an evergreen thing and a this
Um,
and that. It's like when you try and solve a problem by changing the circumstance,
yeah,
it doesn't actually create. I think that your brain is really seeking a feeling. How would you feel if you had 10 people working with you right now?
amazing.
So your brain, how are you feeling right now that you don't feel amazing and you're trying to change the circumstance to feel amazing?
Crappy.
Yep.
I
It,
mean, in addition to being sick, but
in
yeah.
addition to being sick, I think your brain is just seeking the feeling of being amazing. And what would you think about yourself if you had 10 clients right now?
That I could solve more problems, that I could
Well, it comes back to the scarcity. Because listen to your brain, Tammy. It's like I can solve more problems by creating more offers and all these things that I would like to do. Come on to your brain. Like maybe instead of like, I think you would feel like safer financially. Like it would tell me about that piece of things.
oh yeah, like if I would that because that 10 clients is 25,000 after taxes, it's probably like 17,000.
If you had 25 to $17,000, why is
Yeah.
that important to your brain right now?
Well, yeah, security, stability. I'm able to continue investing in my own growth, but then I'm also able to pour, not that it keeps me from pouring that into my clients, but like I'm able, because I'm continuing to invest in myself and my growth, I'm able to take that new knowledge and infuse it into what I do with my clients.
Okay. I'm doing with my clients. So, one of the things that I've realized, this is what your brain is seeking: security, stability. It feels like, and that's why this is a problem. That's why it's like you're feeling like right now that you maybe don't feel secure, secure, as stable. You don't feel like investing in your, as you can invest in your own growth. You feel like you can't, like, a piece of this. It's like you're like, because I don't have the circumstance, I can't feel this way and I can't do these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is shitty. It's a shitty way to feel. Your brain's offering you something. And what I want to offer your brain is that how could we create security, stability, and like continue investing in your own growth, pouring into your clients without this? What thought would you need to think to create the feeling of security? Right now with the amount that's in your bank account? And with 0 people booking consults.
I want to say the coaching answer that what I have and there is enough.
Yes. Do you believe that? Do you say the coaching answer?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so let's do a more believable one. We're gonna work towards it. It's like, have you signed 10 budget blasters in your lifetime?
No.
How many budget blasters have you signed in your life?
I have signed. I have signed. 6.
Okay. How much is the consult again? Or how much is Budget Blaster?
Budget, well, the 6 are at different price points because I was playing with the price point. The final one was 2,500. There were 2 sold at 1,017.
Okay. Coming back to your offer, how much is your coaching offer, Resilient Life?
6,500.
Okay. So if you were to sign 4 people instead of 10, you could still create the same amount of money. For Resilient Life clients equals the same amount. And then for your consults, how many $150 consults have you done?
Oh gosh, I've lost count. I
Okay, okay,
a lot. Probably like 20 or 30 over the
okay,
last 2.5 years.
okay. So remember how we talked about like making the math work? That's like 200 people into or not 200, 166,
Yeah.
167 consults. So I think we're deciding, this not as great to make the 25K that we're seeking. So now
Yeah.
it's like, but can you see how much money have you made in your business in all time?
Since 2021.
Or like maybe just last year.
Last year was about, now the number I give you, is that like after tax write-offs and stuff, or is that like just what I've received, or how does that
Revenue.
revenue was probably about and then I'll tell you I have it. It is sorry, I'm in information tracker to load. Track this stuff. Last year was 43.
Okay. So we've got 43K, right? And your brain is like, I want to make 25K in a month, right? To feel stable. But you were fine and stable last year too. So it's like, notice that your brain is like trying to choose stability, like, and is choosing. Now, again, this is what would be amazing, right? But it's like, I have made 43K of value in the world. So I have enough to make 43K of value. Enough to make at least 43K of value in the world. And I'm going to learn how to make 25K value in a month. It's just a new skill. And I'm willing to let it take time. Now, with the 10 budget blasters, we got options. We got 10 budget blasters for Resilient Life people. What to make the 25K in a month? How much do you need in a month? So it's like, this is how much we would love to feel like super secure, super stable. We're working towards those. I'm going to say goal to make 25K a month. What is the minimum you need to make a month?
3,000 after taxes.
Okay. So have you made 3,000 this month?
Not yet.
How much more do you need?
I need about 2,000 more.
Okay. So if we take a look at this, what could we do to bring in 2K more value in the next? We've got 2 whole weeks. If you push yourself as you're sick, I don't know if that is going to serve you long term, because then you're just going to continue to be sick, right?
Yep.
So what do you need to think to sign 2K more this week other than I'm not doing enough? What could we think instead? Now we've got a goal to put your brain towards. And I think that's going to be really helpful for you.
I'm doing what is needed.
It's like, how are you going to assign the 2K more? Do you want Budget Blaster or Resilient Lifers? Again, I'm guessing that we're going to take away the consults because that would be 14 people. And if you've done like 30 in your lifetime, to do 14 in 2 weeks might be like stressful. That's like one a day.
See, and it's like that's probably the simplest thing for me is those little 1 hour consults. I think it's just getting them booked though, because like at one point I wanted to set something up where I was doing 12 a week because those are probably the easiest parts of what I do because I know the ins and outs of, credit and debt collections and all that stuff. So like that's easy. Um that's like the easiest stuff. The more challenging for me is probably like the 6 month journey with people because of the onboarding process and the setup and the time it takes to get them set up.
What are you doing to get them set up that's that difficult?
Well,
I
I
would just
had
send them a Zoom link and be like, we'll talk
yeah,
when we get
no,
there.
I went through and I created an onboarding pre-survey kind of thing to see where they're at. And then I took
You-
what you did
Huh?
and I turned it into a onboarding thing where they kind of rate where they feel like they're at in the different areas of their life and
But
what they
instead
feel
of
like
that,
is
why don't you just do
yeah.
that on the first call? Make it really, really easy.
So I think I wanted the calls to be straight up coaching and not collecting information.
That's okay. I was like, maybe it will be, but I know if someone asks me to fill out something before I work with them, I never do. I know myself. And I'm like, and if you're going to have to go over it anyways outside of the coaching call, might as well just do it together. And it's just one of 24 sessions. And especially if you're like, okay, I just want to do the coaching piece of things. It's like you probably will have to do some other like data collection on the call. You'll have to teach them how to do stuff. So why don't we just like make this really easy and you just give them the form live on that first call?
Hmm.
Because 14 people in 2 weeks, if you've done 30 overall, that's like double the amount of people you've ever done in your lifetime. Which I'm not saying that that's impossible. I'm just saying that it might be easier to sign on like one new Resilient Life person pay in full or one new Budget Blaster.
Yeah,
One
no,
versus 14 might
numbers.
be easier.
Yeah, the numbers. I think too maybe there's even this thought of, well, it's only $150. It's easier to sell $150 than it is 2,500 or 6,500.
Okay. How long it took you 30 over the past 3 years? So it's like, is it really easier?
Um, I think it has to do with inconsistency. Like I haven't been consistent with putting stuff out there because if I was consistent, like in my stories, I'd be posting at least once a week about my 1 hour debt consult. I'd be posting about,
But I'm saying that like what I would do is I would post every single day about Resilient Life.
with like a link to buy or a link
Link
to
for a
book
consult.
every.
Yeah. I would do that every day and post a win from a client and being like, I want you to join. It's going to be great. I don't think I did it yesterday. Yeah. I would do that every single day. Be like, sign up for a consult for Resilient Life, sign up for a consult for Resilient Life. Because 14 people in 2 weeks, even if you did that every day, that would be it's so much work for you versus just like having okay, let's then do Budget Blaster. you feel more confident with Budget Blaster. How we post that every day.
Yeah. I think it's just making the choice and sticking with whatever I'm choosing. I feel wishy-washy.
I agree. I agree. So what what could you feel and stick with? To make this 2K more? What do you want to decide as the CEO of your business?
I think Budget Blaster, because I could sell one of those and hit the 2K.
Great. What would you need to Blaster? What do you need to think instead of I'm not doing enough to sign one Budget Blaster person? What can you think to sign that person?
God's already got the person in mind for me to work with.
Awesome. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's just a matter of me being available and putting my stuff out there. Yeah.
Okay. And put stuff out there. I also would add to you, like if we've got this thought, God's already got the person in mind. I would also add there, it's like, and I'm going to do everything I can when I'm feeling better to find them. How's that feel?
Yeah.
And I know that like, I don't think that God is like, I don't think that God's like, I want Tammy to really push herself while she's sick.
Nope.
No, he just wants you to rest. And he's like, don't worry. I'm sending them. They're going to be right here.
Yeah.
How do you want to feel? I want you to feel like that, like instead of feeling that like crappy feeling, how do you want to feel as you sign this Budget Blaster client this month?
I want to feel peace and
Yeah.
excitement and enthusiasm.
So I want you to make sick time. What else do you want to do from this peaceful, enthusiastic place to sign this one Budget Blaster client?
Create content.
When you're feeling better.
Yeah.
As you're feeling sick, you have a Budget Blaster post, right?
I think I do. Yeah. I did one.
Heck yeah, you did. Um, do you have any posts that like say Budget Blaster?
No, I don't know how to get it to do that unless I do a carousel where it says it on there.
I would. You sound like you're feeling super sick. But whenever you start feeling better, what I would love for you to do is like, you see how it's like this small print? I would love
Yeah.
to see it like 3 times bigger, maybe like this, and say Budget Blaster 6 weeks of coaching and post that every week. Do like a carousel post and then like have like the resilient life here, a video of you talking about when you feel better, and then Budget Blaster. Because I
Oh,
think
as
like
like pin posts.
yeah. Because I think right now I like it's like even if I found you, I'd be like, oh my God, this is so cool. I like this. But then I don't see any information like what is the resilient life? If I click here, I don't see like I'm like, oh, I like Timmy, but like I don't really see what resilient life is. That seems nice, but like I don't know anything else about it. How long is it? Is
Yeah.
it one-on-one? Is it group? She talks a lot about money, but like is that part of it? Is it just a piece of it? Like they probably are coming to your you've got 1,215 people. They're probably coming here. They're like, this girl is awesome. And then they're like, how could I work with her? And other than clicking your link tree, we don't have clarity,
Got
you
it.
know?
Yeah.
And then with your link tree, the discovery call, I would make that like number one, and I would take this down. I would take this down. You know what I mean? Take this
Huh.
down.
Okay.
Make sure it's just like the first thing that they see is like, and then discovery call to join
Resilient
Budget
Life.
Blaster or Resilient Life.
Okay.
Because like you see that it's like and maybe like founder of Budget Blaster and Resilient Life.
Okay.
But you're doing awesome, lady. And take some time. Now you know what to do. These posts are working for you while you sleep. Like all these things are like working for you. They're going to keep getting better every single time. And like I want you to just trust the content is working for you. Post grid of 3. When you feel better, clean up link tree. Post in your stories daily. And that is going to bring you one Budget Blaster client.
Okay, so I'm hearing you guys right. And Sharon, I appreciate you putting in the comments too. Like both of you agree that you would rather use one actual coaching call to fill out that form instead of doing it in between sessions.
Yes, I would be very annoyed. In fact, I think that my coach, who I love, even told me to, and I was like, no. I was
Yeah.
like, I love you, and no. I was like, I'm not gonna fill this out. I'm like, sorry. I was like, I've got other stuff to do. That's why I hired you. I want you to take all of the stuff that I need to worry about and not, I don't want to do it by myself.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Do
Such a-
you? I was like, for you personally,
Oh,
like if
see,
I,
I did. I do. Like, give me as much stuff I can do on my own. And then when we get together, I can work through anything that came up.
but like if you had to do your progress tracking form by yourself every week, would you love that or not?
Yeah, I usually
Would you
do it
really?
before.
That's
Yeah.
so interesting. I don't know. I'd be a terrible client. I'd be like, no. I would have no data. I'd be like, sorry. I totally forgot. Yeah. Yeah. So it's interesting. Yeah. I would say that like err on the side of ease for the client and you. I'm like, it's easier for you too, because then you don't have to like spend an extra hour looking up for their form. I used to have this huge onboarding form that I would give people, and it was
Yeah.
like 30 questions. And they spent
Oh,
all this time thinking about it, and they like would take hours writing shit, and I would like barely read it. Be like, we should just do this together.
mm. Okay, that's super helpful. I definitely appreciate it.
Of course. I'm so sorry you're sick. I really would love for you to feel better. How are you feeling now?
I'm feeling a little better. I'm gonna look forward to rewatching this one and kind of going through that back half because like as I'm laying in bed, I literally could edit my link tree and stuff. Like it doesn't take much brain work to do that.
Yeah. I think you're doing great.
Thank you.
I love you so much. Please feel better. Take time for yourself. I know that it is all going to work out. There's so much that you can do to like, about all the budgeting. Like, it's like, of course, we would love to like make this, but like, we can take out some credit if we need to make sure that you're good. We can do other things just to make sure you feel really great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're going to pay it back. I know you will.
Yeah.
But I love you. I love you guys so freaking much. You all are amazing. I love you. And I shall see you so soon. Okay, people?
Appreciate it. Thank
Mwah.
you.
I love you guys. Bye.